Okay, so come here. I'm gonna interview you real quick. You said that homeschooling is better than regular school?
Well, like when you do it, like your strategy is really good.
My strategy is really good. Aww. So nice. Can you get your DC comic book for me so I can show them? Okay. I wasn't expecting that, y'all.
That's sweet.
I'm gonna remind him he said that too. I'm gonna be like, remember you said
It's recorded.
it's recorded. Okay, so he brought me the book. Thank you. All right, so this is the book that he asked for, the Ultimate Character Guide. And it has the descriptions and paragraphs about what the character does. Really amazing creature things. I didn't know there were any DC characters, but he'll read the paragraph. Oh, wait a minute. And then I'll help him with any words that he doesn't understand or that are kind of like a fourth grader just wouldn't know. Some of them are really big, some of the words in here, like espionage and, you know, stuff like that, like really big words. Then, like I said, he'll write a paragraph from the book, from what he read, and I'll count that as language arts and writing. The other day we did a little bit of spelling also from that same lesson and just kept it really light, really easy, not a lot of pressure. And we did a math worksheet from Easy Peasy. So, okay, back to Easy Peasy. Easy Peasy All-in-One Homeschool I wouldn't consider it an online program, although you can do it online and everything is housed online. But the way the founder and the author created it is that you can do it offline as well. So Easy Peasy was created by a mom of 6. Her name is Lee. She is a missionary. She homeschooled all of her children and decided to put everything online to share with the world. So there are hundreds of thousands of people all over the world that use Easy Peasy. And it's from pre-K through 12th grade. You go find all the subjects. She put all the resources that she used, all the links, all the activities. And then what she did was she created worksheets and workbooks that correspond to the online lessons so that if you want to do it offline because you don't want to be tied to a screen or a computer, you can also do Easy Peasy offline as well. Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the worksheets better.
You like the worksheets better than the online part? Mm-hmm. Okay, the worksheets are nice. Can you get your Easy Peasy book for me? You know where it is? Oh, it's in the cubby hole next to your clipboard. So the workbooks are on Amazon, not that one. Sorry, I didn't know he was going to be helping me out. Babe, help him. Next to the clipboard to the left are the Easy Peasy books. Does it say EP? So anyway, the workbooks are online on Amazon. And the workbooks include the worksheets. Thank you. Okay, here's an example of, this is EP Grade 3 Language Arts Workbook. And this is for the student. There is a major glare, sorry, you can't see anything. But there's also a companion book that is for the parent. It's the parent guide. So you can order that too. They're really cheap. They're like $8 a piece or something. Very inexpensive. So you get the parent guide and you get the student guide, and the parent guide tells you how to do every single day, and it's broken down in 180 days. So you go to whatever day you're on. Let's say you're on day 35. You go to day 35, and the parent guide will say, do this, this, and this. A noun, let's say we're doing nouns. A noun is a person, place, or thing. And talk to your student about different examples of nouns. We'll give you examples, okay? And then the student on page 35 in their book, they will have noun exercises to reinforce that, where they can write their answers. Yes.
Let's go.
But only use one device because I'm in my meeting. Thank you. Wi-Fi check-in. Okay, so some people use Easy Peasy online and some people use it offline. That's what I was basically trying to convey. So there's different ways to do it. And we like to use Easy Peasy for math, language arts as well, but language arts is a harder subject for my younger student, Ziggy, that we're talking about. So I try to do that more in a creative way, which is why I introduced the DC comic book to use it in that sense. For science, we did the world's tallest buildings. It was a YouTube video, and then we did a discussion about that. So one thing I learned from my husband, who is a certified teacher in the state of Virginia, is that there are many different ways to assess learning, meaning there are many different ways to know if your child is learning. It doesn't have to be always a quiz or always a test or always something involved with a red ink pen, okay? There can be a discussion. There could be a teach back where you say, okay, what did you learn from that lesson or that video? What did you gather from it? It could also be a written paragraph or a couple of sentences. There are many different ways to figure out if your student is retaining information that they experienced, okay? So I find my children are both visual learners, and when they see things in a video, oftentimes they gather so much more than I do. So we loved that video. We were able to use it for history as well because it included the years that those buildings were built, excuse me, through the 20th century and all the heights of them. And it was really great. And then we took the map and we mapped those buildings. So we found Dubai, which has one of the world's tallest buildings. They have another one that they're building that will be erected next year that's going to be taller than the tallest building that they have right now. So we were able to use our map to find those buildings and include geography as well. And we always do some type of PE because I am a PE teacher and I feel like that is one of the most important subjects in my house, because when you move, you learn and you get those happy hormones going, and it kind of connects the synapses in your brain and lets all the juices flow. And I feel like it just makes us have a better day. So that's Ziggy. Ziggy, did I miss anything?
It's really good.
He said it's really good. Oh, thanks. Okay, so let's talk about Zion. Zion is 13, likes to sleep in. So I try to do school with Zion in the afternoon. Now, it may seem like it takes up my whole day to do this, but it really doesn't, because I'm doing things in between. I've kind of mastered what the kids can do on their own and what they need my help with.
Oh, you like master the art.
I mastered the art. Well, thank you. Okay, so this is an example of a day with Zion. Zion likes the show What Would You Do that is on, I think it's ABC. John Quiones.
Mom, and YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube too. Yeah. So she likes to watch that show for current events. She likes to know what's going on in the world, and she just likes the scenarios that come up and seeing people's responses. And I am big on current events. I like my kids to know what's going on in the world. I like to talk to them about it. And I think that it helps to frame really good conversations. So we watched that show, and then I asked Zion for language arts and social studies to write an essay about what she would do in that situation if given the situation, if she was faced with it. So that was a way to do 2 subjects in one. And because she's a middle schooler, I required more. So I think we did 4 paragraph essay. Excuse me.
Mom, and it was fun.
And it was fun, and it was a very interesting topic. And for math, we signed up for pre-algebra. It was a free class offered through Varsity Tutors. You can find them online. We have been using a lot of their courses lately because when COVID happened, they were trying to bring awareness to their company and started offering tons of free classes. Not all of them are good. I'll just put that out there. I usually kind of vet them and attend the first couple minutes before I get the kids involved, or me and the kids will check out the first session. And if it's like, you can only see the top of the person's head, they're like, or they're not talking about nothing, we'll be like, okay, guys, we'll skip this one. But we don't make ourselves go through the whole thing if it's not going to be good. But this pre-algebra class, I really like. I like the instructor. I like what they're learning. He uses the whiteboard. He's engaging. And this is a class that my daughter needs foundations in to get ready for 8th grade math that is coming up. So I've been very happy with that. And then we like to walk for PE. That's really her thing, is walking, going outside, or skating. So that's kind of a typical day for my teenager. And the thing about me, I do like a plan. Like I mentioned, I'm a planner, but I'm not really great in execution, because if I see something, I will easily go down that road. Like, oh my gosh, that looks interesting. And I'll just, go off into it. Or if my kids say, oh, Mom, let's check out so-and-so. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So it makes it a little interesting. And what I ended up doing, instead of having a lesson plan for myself, I started doing a log. So that I wouldn't create an expectation for myself that I knew I wasn't going to fulfill. So I'm going to step away for a second and get my lesson log. Okay, we'll have to get it later because I have to finish my thing. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I had one of those moments again, y'all. All right, so this is my lesson log. It says teacher lesson plan. I got it from the Dollar Tree. And it has 36 weeks in here where I have, turn this down so maybe you can see. There's so much like chicken scratch in here. This is not a plan. This is actually what we did each week. So each page represents a week of stuff. So let's see, this is November last year. We did, oh my gosh, so much stuff. We did art. We went to Defy Trampoline Park for PE. They had a wonderful homeschool program at the time. We were in co-op at that time. We were doing a unit study on the Netflix show called Raising Dion, which is really wonderful if you haven't seen it. And we were talking about, there's a lot of science in that movie. So there was like lightning. Someone got struck by lightning and it allowed them to become this evil villain. So we talked about lightning and lightning safety. And then we did all kind of social studies from that movie. It was great. That week, we also went to a Nerf battle that was put on by a homeschool group. My daughter had a junior achievement class, which is, it's like business 100 for teenagers and how to be an entrepreneur. We were doing everything. Just like a lot. It's so easy to find interesting things to do. You just have to sit and think, we're really learning. I mean, by the time you really look at it, you're like, okay, we did a lot of stuff today and it was not a lot of effort. So that's my log. And at the end of each day or the end of the week, I'll write down what we did. So that was my point. Instead of this is what I'm going to do. I like to approach it as I have a very loose plan. And in that loose plan, this is what we did. And I put it in my, I guess it's more like a journal, you know, so that I keep track. And then at the end of the year, I have that in case we get an evaluation from an evaluator, or if I just need it for some reason, you know, or I want to look back and see what we did so I can know where to continue. Or for instances like this, when I'm sharing with other moms, I just want to give that information. All right, let me see. I didn't even check for any hands. Did anybody want to jump in? I'm about to wrap up my part and go into the next part. All right. Well, because I like free, I like homeschooling for free or inexpensive. And I think that's just my motto in life, that I'm a very frugal person. My husband is a frugal person, and we carried that into our homeschool. There was a time where I joined a co-op that was expensive. I thought it was worth it. And we remember classical conversations we did for 1 year. It was fun. There was a lot of singing. We had a lot of activities. We met a lot of great people, but when it was all said and done, I didn't want to spend that every single year. So I said, you know, I could do this myself. And that's where we are today, 4 years later. All right, so here are some free or inexpensive resources. And I will definitely post this in the Facebook group because I know that it's kind of small.
Yeah, you probably didn't know that.
But you'll see allinonehomeschool.com. That is easy peasy. Another one of my favorites is freereadingprogram.com. That really helped my son with spelling and reading. And it is free. It's put together by a nonprofit organization to help kids learn how to read. Hoopla. Are you okay? Uh-oh. Daddy, check my zip, please. Hoopla is a website that's connected to the local libraries, which you can use and check out audiobooks and digital books that are in their catalog, and they have tons. You can also check out movies there, and it's free. Teacherspayteachers.com is a tool that I love as well. It is used by a lot of teachers as well as homeschoolers, and you go on the site, you type in the search box what you want to study, and then excuse me, you can pick the price you want to pay. I always choose free. And then tons of stuff comes up. One example is when my son wanted to study the Titanic, and we did that as a unit study, which means you take a subject and you wrap around every single subject into that topic. So we did the Titanic, we did science, geography, math, we did everything, and I pull a lot of the resources from teacherspayteachers.com for free. Others, if you have younger students, you can use ABC, Starfall, playkidsgames.com if you're looking for some play-based interactions. And Mystery Science, if you're looking for some cool lesson plans for science, mysteryscience.com is awesome and mostly free. If you want the full Mystery Science, you have to pay, but they offer a lot of stuff for free. And then there are others on this. So you can screenshot this page, you can take a picture of it, and I will also link it in our Facebook group so that you have it. So I'm gonna take a sip of my water from the big green cup and give you a chance to screenshot that. Excuse me. All right, and my page 2 for more free resources, Quizlet, MobyMath, ReadWorks, Khan Academy, extramath.org. If your child needs help with their math facts, a lot of people recommend extramath.org. I will tell you, my kids hated that program because it's timed. And I did find a way to extend the timer on it. So what will happen is it will say, what's 3 times 3? And then the timer will start ticking. And if my kids didn't get the answer within the time, like somebody's computer screen was getting smacked. That timer caused a lot of frustration in my house. So that program didn't work for us, but I see a lot of people like to use it. So my son said thumbs down. All right, so that's how the Stakes do school. Try to keep it interesting, very eclectic. It does take some planning, but if that's your thing and you have the time, I think it was Mary that said on our team, Mary said, you're either going to spend the money or you're going to spend the time. So it just depends on your ability or your willingness to do either one, okay? And with that being said, I'm going to go into the traditional approach. But before I do, I'll pause to see if we have any comments or questions. Don't be shy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, Shannon, it's Emily. I just wanted to comment and say that I really enjoyed your views on having that lesson plan book, but actually writing what you guys did as opposed to everything that you have to do. I think I'm the same way. If I'm writing down everything I have to do, it becomes a little bit more daunting than we learned today. And I just wrote down what we learned. So I like the concept of that.
Oh, thank you, Emily, for that feedback. And you know what happened? I actually got that from another homeschooling mom, my friend. Her name escapes me all of a sudden. Oh, Ty. I was on the phone with her. We were just like going back and forth about our frustrations for the day. And I told her about my issue with planning and how I love to plan, but my execution is bad. And I said, I can't believe I start one way and I end up, I don't even know how we got, why are we talking about swamp creatures? I don't even know. And so she gave me the suggestion of making a log and keeping a journal instead. And it has been a game changer. It's like no more guilt about not fulfilling those plans or expectations. And it really, I guess, was a mindset shift. So I'm glad that was a good takeaway for someone else as well. All right, awesome sauce. Well, we're going to talk about the traditional approach to homeschooling. And I'm going to refer to the slides that you'll see on your screen to make sure I don't miss anything. But traditional homeschoolers like to align what they're doing in the home academic setting with what public schools are teaching as far as the concepts and grade levels are concerned. It is a good choice for those who prefer to monitor progress closely via quizzes, evaluations, and tests. You'll spend far less time planning and preparing for each school day. So I can definitely see value in this for sure. Let's look at the pros. The pros of traditional homeschooling with traditional curriculum is the ease of finding curriculum in a box that will provide you with years worth of lessons and teachers' manuals. So you're building a library. You can schedule the lessons and they're similar to the school setting. Children usually transition well from one to the other. That's a great thing. Parents have a good grasp of how children are doing in each subject and can tally grades easily. And the box curriculum are planned so that very few academic gaps are experienced. And that definitely is valuable because I can tell you with the eclectic plan that I use, sometimes I do have to go back and make sure that I'm covering certain things because I'm over here and I'm over there and I'm over here and I'm over there. So I can see how using the box curriculum will keep you on pace. And our traditional homeschooler is Wanda, and Wanda's on the call with her. She's a veteran homeschool mom. So we thank you for these slides, Wanda. Here are the cons. Sometimes children rarely fit into one grade level, so purchasing a set level may not be a good fit. So that makes sense if you buy a box curriculum, say for 5th grade, and your student may need down one or up one, so trying to put that into the right place might be a little difficult. Not all children appreciate textbook, workbook style learning. And back to learning styles, right? So you may have to maybe add, modify, throw in a little something so that you can make that work for you. Curriculum in a box can be cha-ching, pricey. You see those dollar signs on the screen? Hello. And difficult to combine children for certain subjects because rarely do 2 levels study the same topics. Okay, so that's referring to if you have multiple children, there are some curriculum that are built to allow you to do it multi-level and some where it's specifically designed for certain grades. Okay. All right, here are some providers of traditional lessons. Abeka, Accelerated Christian Education, Alpha Omega, Bob Jones, Calvert, Core Curriculum of America, Houghton, K-12, McMillan McGraw, Modern Curriculum, Move Beyond the Page, Oak Meadow, Rod & Staff, and Scott Forsman. So take some time and take a screenshot or a picture of this screen if you need it of traditional curriculum. I have not used any of these traditional curriculum. However, I am considering K-12 for my teenager who wants to go to public high school as a 9th grader if all the pandemic stuff is at bay. So I'm glad to see that on this slide because we may be moving more in that direction for my older student. Okay, questions, comments, thoughts?
I have a comment.
Yeah, Nicole.
My son is 9, he'll be 10 in November, so he'll be going to the 4th grade. Originally, he had been in private school, but in 2nd grade, due to ADHD and just some issues with private school that I was having with him and not wanting to medicate, I took kind of a leave of absence from work and homeschooled him for 2nd grade. But then I put him back in private school for 3rd grade, and he did very well. But due to COVID, I'm taking him out. Well, at least I'm trying to get out of a contract.
Right.
In the meantime, when I did do homeschool for 2nd grade, I did build my own curriculum, did my research with the help of a couple groups that I had joined with you all. Shawanda, who I originally had got in contact with. But I didn't want to do that this time. That was a lot of work. And I'm actually going to try the K-12 private academy.
Okay.
Any of you all had tried that? I almost feel a little different because it's still homeschool, but in more of an online traditional way. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to try something different. I wanted something a little bit easier on me. Like you say, you either want to spend the money or the time.
Right.
So I'm going to try it out, just see. I was just wondering if has anybody utilized the K-12 virtual academy or the private academy sector?
That's a great question. Let's see from our group. Has anyone that's on with us done the K-12 virtual academy or the private K-12 that can share their experience with it? No?
I'll share mine.
Yeah, please.
But yeah. So.
Yeah, we'd love to hear that feedback. And I think
the
if you,
difference between, oh,
go ahead, Lamanda.
what's the difference between the private versus just regular virtual?
From my understanding, the public it's free, but I'm not going to say it's rigid, but the time you have to between, like, I'm just going to say 9 and 3 is a set time in which your child has to be, I guess, present in the computer. The private one, it's a little more flexibility. You can kind of pick and choose your times. You have, from my understanding, you have like at least an hour, 3 to 4 times a week. It's teacher-led, web-based, kind of like a Zoom online with the teachers that's delivering certain materials. You have breakout rooms. You have access. They're doing your whole curriculum for you, your testings. I mean, they pretty much do everything. You still have to be involved at home with certain deliverance of certain material that they have to do at home, but it's more flexible. Like I'm still gonna kind of be working a little bit. I work PRN as a nurse at the hospital. And I have 2 daughters that are in college. So if I have to work or I have to work around their schedule, I can change. I have to be exactly at 9. I can do it at 10. So I'm doing they're having like an open house online on the 13th that I'm going to attend, so I can kind of get some more information. So that's the difference between in a nutshell, you have more flexibility. And that's what I kind of still wanted and still kind of loved about when I was homeschooling. I developed my own one. I didn't want to give up everything as far as the flexibility. So you have more of that, more of the flexibility.
Is it pricey?
I think it's like $450 a month. I mean,
Okay.
compared to private school. So,
Right.
When I did homeschool and left work completely, I mean, so for me, that's a happy medium, doing that and just seeing how it goes. And he did, I didn't know how he would do online at his age. I didn't think he would be engaged, but I don't know if you're familiar with Chesapeake Bay Academy in Norfolk. Very expensive. I could never afford to go take him to that school, but they have a summer program, and they did a virtual intensivist reading program that he went for 6 weeks, and it was virtual, and it was amazing. And how the technology that came with the program that we were able to do at home for him to be engaged, and that would prompt me to think, okay, maybe he can do something online, depending on how it's delivered, the program, the technology, and the instruction, how the teacher does it. So that's what prompted me to kind of do it with the summer program we did at Chesapeake Bay Academy. Because when I'm having ADHD, it's just really hard to see what will kind of hold his attention, especially if it's something he may not be interested in.
Yeah, I'd love to hear how it's going once you get started.
Trying to work out this contract I have signed with this school I'm trying to get out of, so.
Oh, yeah.
But it's hard to kind of move forward. But I've got the information. I've done the application process with the K-12 Virtual Academy. But there are numerous online ones, but this one was more kind of aligned with the public schools, because eventually I would like for him to go back. So, I'm just kind of on the fence, with.
I understand.
A little bit of the school sector, private school, and then going back to kind of homeschool, kind of a hybrid with the technology and kind of virtual.
Right. It seems like technology is becoming more and more important for our students to be more savvy of, we used to be able to get away with some of the non-technical ways, but more and more.
I don't want to completely get away from it. I just kind of want a balance of both.
A balance. I hear you. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
I
All
hope
right.
that question as far as, I think it's like 4 hours, they said, online with the K-12 academy, but I'd want the versatility in case I may want to do it on the weekend, a later time or earlier time, and be able to have that choice, autonomy.
Great. That's awesome. Good to know. I haven't met anyone that's doing the academy side, so I'm glad you spoke up, Nicole. That's great. Okay, Mary, you still there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Are you in
I
a
am.
safe location?
I'm driving, but I'm okay. I don't even know who a blue face, whatever. You know what? I'm sorry for interrupting. This Gen Z generation. I'm sorry. Calling them with me. It's too funny. I'm sorry. But
Well,
I'm good.
Good. I have your first slide up, so whenever you're ready, you can go ahead.
Let's do it. And I'm in my car with my family, some of my family. So y'all just, hey, this is what we do. This is how we do it. So I'm good. Go ahead. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Go right ahead. I'm good. I won't be too long.
All right. This is Singleton Homeschool Academy featuring Mary and the crew.
Oh my. So you can go to the next slide.
All right.
We have 4 children, 18-year-old, a 15-year-old, and 2 14-year-old twins. This concludes our 4th year homeschooling. We came home because I have my 15-year-old is diagnosed with autistic, and one of my twins is diagnosed with ADHD, and we needed to make a change. So we brought everybody home. I listened to Shannon's presentation this morning on deschooling. We did not deschool, which I highly recommend. Oh my God. I think I drove my people crazy because I was trying to do school at home, and I'm on the call. Oh, sorry guys. Yes, this is what happens. This is how well we homeschool, because we can do what we want to do and go where we want to go. I'm on the call. Can I call you back? Okay, I'm calling you. I'm sorry. So this is what we do. We homeschool, and things come up and we take care of them. But anyway, I'm with my mommy too. So we came home, and I tried to do school at home, and I quickly found out that is not what homeschooling is. You do not school at home. You have to make whatever situation you have. You got to make schooling work for you. So the first year, I was trying to be all formal, and I think I ran my people crazy. So and I did too. So we tried. Oh my God. Oh, Eli's birthday tomorrow, and I can't come to the drive. Okay. So the first year of homeschooling, we did so many different curriculums. It's still a blur, actually. We tried Easy Peasy. We tried Time for Learning, all of Monarch. I think we did Monarch the second year, but we tried online programs and things. They would work for a while, and then I would find that some of the programs, I honestly didn't like some of the things that they were teaching, some of the things they were saying. So I would skip some parts of the program, and I would substitute it with something else, that I felt was necessary for them to learn. So we did a little bit of that. This year, we stepped out co-op. So each of the kids had one class at Williamsburg Classical Academy with Katrina Jackson. I highly recommend it. She's real fun. And we also did some classes on Udemy. So we had some online classes. And one of the classes that we did all together on Udemy was Spanish. Now, yeah, why would we be trying to do a foreign language without somebody who's an expert in foreign language? It just so happens that I remembered so much in my first year of Spanish from high school that I was able to help them through the first year of Spanish. And when I would hear things, I would remember it, and I would go over some of it before we did it together. But we sailed through our first year of Spanish, and I think it was pretty good. Was it okay? They confirmed it was okay. I think we're okay. But I just used some of what I remember from high school myself. So you will spend your time or you're going to spend your money. Spend your money buying some nice curriculum where they do all the grading, they keep all the documents, you just pretty much print it off. Well, you spend your time trying to piece things together, trying to, make copies here, do the grading, make sure it's done. And we personally have a little bit more time than we have money right now. So I usually spend more of my time. So I'll look stuff up, and we'll make it happen. So they might be doing different math programs from different places, different language arts from different places, but it all works together in the end. So you can go to the next slide. I don't know what's on the next slide. I don't even remember. Oh, there we go. Our streaming school. And let me back up for one moment. We do our Burger King curriculum because I don't care how you learn it. I just need you to learn it. So you need to. I had one time where my son, my twin, he would sit in the bathtub and do his schoolwork, or he'll have to. He has 5 minutes, and 5 minutes later, that's it. So I have to turn the music on for him. So he will stay focused and do his work if he has some music on. Or he might need to be where it's quiet with just him and his headphones. Whatever he needs to do, that's what he needs to do. So I don't really care how they get it. I just need them to get it, and I will accommodate them accordingly. Like Shannon's also said about the documentaries, we do a lot of streaming too. Good documentaries on Prime, on Amazon, YouTube, wherever you can find it. And we do a lot of different documentaries, especially the African American history documentaries. We do a lot of those on Prime and Netflix, and they're pretty good too. We also, I'll throw some fictional stuff in there, things I've seen. I really enjoyed watching West Side Story when I was in school. And I made them sit through 3 hours of West Side Story. I surely did. And at the beginning, they didn't like it. But by the end, everybody was all into it. And the good thing about West Side Story was it was really applicable to a lot of what's going on today. They could really identify with it. A lot of the racial tension, a lot of the things that were happening, it was really applicable. So it was pretty good. But we do a lot of documentaries, a lot of stuff we can just sit together and watch, things we can talk about. My life event, I messed around. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I messed around and started talking to people and letting them have their opinion. Man, we'll be out in public, and if somebody's talking about politics, I get scared because I don't know what my kids are going to say because they have a real serious opinion. And that's okay, but we are really, really big on knowing what's going on in the world. They're really big on politics. Really big. I want them to know what's going on in the culture in current events. And because, as I said, I have 4 Gen Z people in my house, I tend to know a little bit. And I ask them a lot of questions, so they teach me a lot of things too. So I kind of tell them how things used to be and what tradition is, and they tell me, nope, we don't do that anymore. So we actually learn a lot from each other, and I enjoy that part of it. We do the regular extracurricular activities like the piano, sewing. My daughter she started sewing. My mother bought her a sewing machine, and she will sit in her room and come out and something is cut up, and I'm like, what happened to that dress? She's made something completely different. So she's in her room doing different things. So she made herself a little hat and she'll make her skirts and stuff. My oldest is 18. He's into music. So he bought him an Apple computer so he can have some kind of music program that he was using at another program he could do at home. So he's making all kind of music, doing things he enjoys. I like fitness, so I'll make everybody go off and ride bikes and we'll lift weights and we'll do something. So, and also they've done soccer over the years to help for their PE as well. And my last one is hashtag car combo and hashtag life school. I found that they learn a lot in talking. I learned a lot in talking to them. So we would just, in the beginning, just be somewhere and somebody would, ask a question and it would go down so many different rabbit holes. So now we have what we have called hashtag car convo. And that conversation will be about anything under the sun. About life, about your body, it could be racism, whatever is going on, we will talk about it. And I don't really hold anything back or what's in the know, exactly what's going on in life. Be real open and honest. And I want to develop that so, they'll, when they do have a question that they don't know something, they'll come and say, hey, what's this? I found out that the talking, leaving the door open for them to conversate, I like to think that they probably learn more that way, but I can certainly say I've learned more that way from them. Being able to really just let them kind of blossom and open up, see what they can handle at what time. And, if they come with the question, then we discuss it. So we have a lot of hashtag car combos and life school. We do we have pizza every Friday night. So on Friday night, we do something different where you might bring a riddle or we'll talk about current events, but just something to see what's going on with you. And believe it or not, it's not formal training or academic learning, but there's a lot of learning that takes place at that time. So we're a little a little different. A lot goes on at my house. I think is there another slide on there, Tony? Shannon? I think it might. Okay. Yes. That's my schedule. Isn't that schedule nice and pretty? We follow it every single day. We have never followed that schedule every single day. We never do. But I wanted us to have something that if we needed to, if we need to get back on track, we have something to get back on track. Yeah, we needed some structure because I would choose, just like Tony, if I see something, I'm like, oh yeah, let's go do that. Change the whole day up in a second. But that schedule was made, and we just updated each year according to what the classes are, and we try to follow it as much as we can. But at the bottom, you'll notice it's kind of like our life schedule actually. And what I did was included the chores on it. So, and the kids would also have a night to cook. When we first started our first year, that year was really about life skills. About learning how to cook, learning how to clean up, learning how to do everything at home. So not everybody cooks, everybody cleans, and they rotate their chores each week as well. So I try to keep some structure, but I will float off in a minute and we'll do something different. But I try to make sure whatever, even if we do leave our schedule, it's something that is fun and they're learning from it. I do notice though, when people get agitated, myself included, we'll take a break. We will have a mental day, a couple of days in a minute. I'm like, okay, y'all don't like me today. I don't like y'all today. Let's take a break. And we do. And that's normal. That happens. You're with each other all day, every day.
Preach, preach.
We take a break. So that's what we do. I started out wanting to keep them home forever. And honestly and truly this year, my baby girl, we were considering sending her back to school. I'm not going to say thank God for COVID. I won't say that. Wait. I wouldn't say that anymore. So I was like, okay. And now COVID hit. I said, well, baby, everybody's homeschooling now, so you're good. We can stay. That's pitiful.
The decision has been made.
Hey, it is what it is. But my oldest just turned 18 and he just graduated. So he did all 4 years high school at home. And my biggest concern was, oh gosh, is this going to be okay? Am I going to fail him? Is he going to get everything he needed? It's completely doable. He is fine. He is doing great. So I'm looking to process everybody else out of homeschool. We'll see how it goes. So we'll just, play it by ear. But I have enjoyed getting to know them. It's been great. I wouldn't change it for the world. Now
I love this schedule, Mary. This is beautiful.
Yes, we do it every day. Can you believe it?
I love it. The colors. I'm like, this is so something I would do. I probably wouldn't be able to execute it, but I would post it. It would be up. Honey, listen.
I sort of said, when's the last time we did that? And like everything down.
But wait, what is the helicopter? It says math and helicopter. What is that?
Oh, that was a class on Udemy. It was helicopter physics. That was the class.
Oh,
Because
that sounds
it-
interesting.
we would find classes on Udemy, and I let them tell me what they wanted to do. It had to be something we can, like, you know, you got to do something for science, you got to do something for language arts, find something you like, but it's got to fulfill this requirement. So
Right.
it's a little bit of everything on there. Everything changes. I don't know. I've tried to do the best I can. I know I messed up in some places, but you know what? They're fine. They still love me. I still love them. They're fine. It'll be okay.
What curriculum for Spanish?
Go ahead, Nicole. Mm-hmm.
What you say?
Curriculum were you using for your Spanish for the kids?
We found a class on Udemy. There was a and now again, we have more time than we have money. So there was a 4-year Spanish class on Udemy, and it got down to $9.99 for all 4 years. I said, oh yeah. So I can't remember what the name of the particular one we called, but it's Spanish, 4 years Spanish. We completed the first year, so I think the first year had like 88 classes on it. So, you know, each day we would sit down and I think the longest lesson might have been 45 minutes. But for the most part, they were 20-minute lessons. So, like I said, because I remembered some of my Spanish, I was able to help them. But the Spanish class, it was so simple. I'd get a comp book, they would write down, you know, the words they would tell them to write down. We'd go back over it, study it. And we'd be out places, and they would see a Spanish word, or they would see something, and they knew what it was. And I was like, okay, this is working. So, but I just got a set of Spanish classes off of Udemy.com when they had the sale.
Nice.
Had to be on sale.
Did you have to commit 4 years? Do they have do they have different type of packages?
This particular one, they have different ones. You can buy just like Spanish 1 or Spanish 2. But this, like I said, this one had, you know, 4 years of Spanish, where it really goes deep, deep, deep into the language. So I had all 4 of them do it this year. And what I could do, you know, since they've started 1 year Spanish, you know, we can go up to 2 and 3, and that will complete their 3-year requirement of a foreign language. Because I stick a little bit to the SOLs, you know, just a little bit. But it was a class I found. I looked through it, looked at the previews of it, and it worked out for us great.
You said Udemy?
Udemy.com, UDEMY.com.
Thanks.
This is like a skills like Coursera, or I think is it Lydia or Lynda.com. One of those websites where it's a lot of people use it for skills training,
Okay.
but we use it for homeschooling.
Okay. I'll look into that. Thanks.
Mary, I have a question. What is WCA classes? What is that? I noticed the forensic science.
That's the co-op, Williamsburg Classical Academy.
Okay. All right.
They have one in a campus in Williamsburg and a campus in Newport News. And so we went to the Newport News campus on Friday.
Okay, because that's something my daughter is interested in, forensic science.
Girl, listen. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Y'all be careful with Katrina Jackson. I wish Katrina Jackson's on this phone call. They were taking the class, and we got down to a light coming home one day, and they were telling me the story they did in class. And so Mr. Smith killed Mr. Johnson. Johnson was having an affair, and he stabbed him with the knife. This is a true story. The man next to us in the car looked at me like, what is going on with your kids?
Listen.
They know everything about forensic science. They
Wow.
even watch shows on TV about forensic science. They would tell me, oh, he didn't kill her right. He didn't do that right. See, now he left the evidence. And I'm looking like, what? They had such a good time in Katrina's class. Oh, my God. It was
Mary, are they going online as well for some of their classes in the fall?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what we're going to be. I honestly don't know what we're going to do this year. Thank you. I think we might go back to a little bit of easy peasy, but I'm trying to do at least one class with Katrina. You know, again, we have more time and money. But the one class allowed them to get out and be with some other people, so that was another reason for doing that as well.
Right. But Williamsburg Classical Academy is going to have an online,
Yes,
online offerings too, right?
yes.
Okay.
I think,
Yeah.
she was trying to do a hybrid, but I don't know if it's going to be all online. I'm not sure. But they will
I-
have online classes this year.
Yeah, they're gonna. I think it's gonna be all online, especially the Newport News, because I actually signed my son up for her classes, but I think they just canceled the in class for Newport News this year or this
Oh.
semester.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So Patricia, there's still an opportunity if you wanted to look into that forensic science to check out Williamsburg Classical Academy's online offerings.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. Yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah, my teenager would love that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Also the chess, because she plays chess as well. So
Nice.
yeah.
Oh, the test was great. My
Yes,
oldest,
it is.
we kind of use that as a logic, critical thinking class for him. And that's how he kind of operates. Very analytical. He did not play chess before that, but he enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it.
Mhm.
And the teacher would let him sit in on the advanced class right after the beginner class. So he learned quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Good.
Did you have another slide, Mary?
I don't think so.
I think that was it. Are there any other questions for Mary?
I just wanted to comment that I love that you put mommy gym time and that you scheduled that in there, because that was my struggle for years and I packed on the pounds because of it. But I have learned that you have to put that in there.
Yeah, my people sleep late too, so I didn't have anything else to do at that time. Yeah.
I love it. Mary, you need to turn that Zoom camera on when you're doing that workout so we can join you in the mornings. You laughing, but I'm not laughing. Do you see him not laughing? I'll have my weights ready, honey. Let me tell you.
Good. That is all. I'm good.
I like the chores at the bottom. I see how you rotate the kids through the different areas.
Yeah.
They got to rotate this week. And actually, we did that 4 years ago. We're still doing that today. I don't even worry about the chores now because they know, what's going to happen. So that works out pretty good.
I love it.
Awesome.
Yes, that is great. Thank you so much, Mary.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Anyone want to jump in with a question or comment? Because Aisha is next. Mocha Fairy Monster Brown. Hey. Let me see here. Aisha, you still there?
Hey girl, hey.
Hey girl, hey.
Hold on.
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing so we can all see each other. All right, there we go. While you talk with us. While you're getting ready, Aisha, I was gonna say, I love how Mary was telling us what the kids are into. That's something that homeschooling has given my kids so much more time to figure out what they're good at and what they love.
Yes.
My son has been writing music. He's been using GarageBand, and we actually put his music on Apple Music for the world to enjoy. And we started a little record company in his name. We've been just doing stuff because we can, because we have time. And Zion, the artist, made a Facebook page with all the art, put it up there. She sold a few pieces. I mean, these kids can just get into life. So that's one of the benefits, one of the many benefits of homeschooling. So that's my commercial. Aisha, whenever you're ready.
Hi, I don't have any slides because this week has been a test.
Okay.
But I do have the materials that I've pulled together. I do the eclectic method. I used the traditional box curriculum for 1 year now. It's for preschool, and it worked out great. But I found that when my daughter was in grade school, she had a challenge with understanding some math concepts. And so her math was a little down here and everything else is up here. So a box curriculum was just was not going to work for us. So we ended up being eclectic, and this is how I pull things together. We started with the Science Encyclopedia, and I would ask her, well, what do you want to learn about today? And she'd be like, the human body. So she'd read the chapter on the human body, we'd read it together, and I'd have her write down some facts for handwriting. This was when she was in grade school. Have her write down some facts for handwriting. And then I got her this big human body book, and it would go into more depth because she's very visual. She could read about the liver, the lymphatic system, the skeletal system, all in detail. And it came with a DVD, and so she could see 3D models of each human body system.
Wow.
So that's not a curriculum, that's just, we pulled resources that mom had collected over the years and added to it. For language arts, we use this, which is Grammargrams. It's a worksheet, it's a work page. They do a series of grammar exercises. It takes about, I want to say 10 to 15 minutes after you go over your basic grammar rules, and then you go over it together to see whether they need clarification on any of the grammar rules. And it covers it's 180 lessons, so it covers 10 to 15 minutes of a grammar per day. That's part of her language arts. That was part of her language arts. Then for vocabulary, we did classical roots. I thought about doing Latin, but like I said, box curriculums are expensive, and at this point, that wasn't really my jam. So I found something close, and this was it. This also comes with a teacher's manual. And not just a teacher's manual, you don't even have to make your own tests and quizzes. I love a good deal like this. I got all of this for like $25. And so like you have your student book, you have the teacher manual, and you have your tests and quizzes. Oops, it's upside down. And so this is a series of vocabulary lessons, and it goes from A to F, and then it goes from 1 to 4. And you can find these on Amazon.
What grade did you use that for, Aisha?
I used this for grades 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then the boys they were at co-op for 7 and 8. So I'm going back into using this for my 9th grader, because the letter levels are for upper grades. Okay. It's called Vocabulary Classical Roots.
Nice.
And you said that gives you the teacher book and everything?
You're gonna have to order the teacher books separately, but it does offer it. Actually, I got this from the used book sale at the Homeschool conference a couple of years back. So this was like $5 because this is like the last day of the conference.
So if it's not Latin, Aisha, is it like root words or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That's cool.
So for your 9th grader, what would that fall under? It wouldn't be language. Would you just do that under like English?
Yes. English, and for literature, this year I'm having them pick their own books because they were in co-op and they're like, well, this book is interesting, but it would get them it would be a struggle to get them to stay on top of the reading. And I found through trial and error that if it doesn't automatically appeal to them off the bat, I'm gonna have to fight them, and I'm tired of fighting.
Amen.
So they're going to pick what they want to read. I will do some read aloud with them. They still like that even though they're in high school. And we can watch. I found that if the book has a corresponding movie to it, that makes them want to read a little more quickly, and that way they stay on top of it.
Yes. Nice.
For math, we did Singapore math, but I sold some of my curriculum, so I don't really have that anymore. This year we have Mammoth Math, which is they have online. That you download their curriculum online, and it's been really good. It helped my my rising ninth grader get through pre-algebra relatively painlessly, which is good. He's very prepared to do algebra.
So they have online, you mean Math Mammoth, right?
Yes.
So they have online sort of like teaching textbooks too?
I don't know if they have teaching videos, but I didn't order a physical book. I downloaded their curriculum onto my computer and printed out pages.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Mm-hmm. It's very methodical. You just got to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
My brain is sort of scattered, so if anybody has any questions, go ahead and.
I have a
What age?
question.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
I'm
No,
sorry.
you go.
Okay.
First, Patricia.
Okay. So under English, is that language arts and literature? Is that all fall under English?
Yes.
Okay. Because when I do the curriculum to send in, do I just put English or do I put
Yes.
just English? Okay. 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 Thank you.
English usually is the umbrella for language, literature, and grammar.
Grammar. Okay.
But that's not included with like a Spanish, like a language, if that makes sense.
That's a foreign language. Yes, Spanish
Right.
is a foreign language.
Right. Okay.
And Cherise took Japanese at co-op at WCA. So that's how we covered our foreign language. Asa took Spanish last year. He loved it. So there'll be Cherise she decided that she doesn't want to learn foreign language at this time. She said I may pick it back up later, but for right now my brain can't take it. And I was like, okay. We're gonna follow your lead. I'm not gonna fight you on this. I'm at a point in my homeschooling where we've done the trial and error and I just want it to be fun again.
Yeah.
So I brought back, I'm doing the core subjects at home and we're doing the enrichment classes at co-op. So, and I'm taking their lead. They've been vocal in what they don't like. So that's what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, my son's been very vocal lately too. He's like, nope, I don't want to do that program. I want to do this one over here. And I'm like you, Aisha. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
But it took how many years did it take me to get here though?
Same.
So at least you learn early on.
Well, you know what's funny? I don't handle stress very well, literally, like it's an issue for my body and my mind. So if I don't listen to my kids, I'll probably be laid up somewhere talking about I don't feel well, you know?
Mm.
So, Aisha, can you remind us how old your children are?
The two youngest just turned 13 or 14. And the oldest is 18, going to be 19. And she's a senior this year. We're in the home stretch. You just got to sprint across the finish line.
That's exciting.
It is.
So, we have heard from all of our team here. Let me scroll. Yolanda is also on our team. She couldn't make it. She's a minister and she was doing hospital visits today. Bless her heart for that. But we have shared how we do school. And Yolanda, on a previous video, if you go back into our units, she talked about her method, which was unschooling. And that was very interesting. Child-led learning. Some people call it delight-directed learning, where your child literally guides the pathway of what they're going to learn. And there were a lot of questions in her session about what that looks like, what's the schedule, how do you put it all together? So if you're interested in hearing about unschooling, you can go back to the units and find that video. Or in a future session, when she's on, we can have her discuss that more, because that was a really, really interesting conversation. What other questions do you have or comments? Does anyone want to chime in about how you do school or what you're planning to do when your homeschooling starts?
I have a comment. I know when I first homeschooled my son, like I said, it was, well, yeah, he'll be in fourth, it was second grade. I felt it kind of very overwhelming because there were just so many different curriculums, trying to find like specific ones based on how I could deliver the material versus how he received it. And I found that I was buying like multiple, like I was doing like Singapore math, handwriting for tears for handwriting. Then another program because I was thinking, okay, maybe this, and then I was doing some of the online, like the easy, I think I did Easy Peasy, but I can't remember if I did that one. I just felt overwhelmed and trying to figure out, you know, and some things I would pay for, and then I would like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, not continue my subscription, and hopefully programs I didn't lock myself into so I can get out and have to continuously paying. So even though I enjoyed the autonomy of picking and customizing it for my son, I felt like it was just so much stuff to choose from. It was like too much for me in trying to figure out what worked best, and just kind of going online and, you know, forums like this to kind of see what works for other parents and what will work for my son. So I think because of that experience, I was like, well, maybe I'm gonna do the online one and pay somebody else to do it and just see how that experience is, so I can kind of compare if I continue for fifth grade, you know. But just listening to you all, your panel here, you know, I'm sure just over the years, it's like y'all kind of got it down packed of what works for you all.
Yeah, I think for me, it was, once again, me putting a plan in place and then hearing my kids say, I don't want to do it that way. I can't learn that way. I don't like this tool. Sometimes it was, I don't like the sound of the voice on the video. Aisha, did your kids say that?
My kids have definitely said that before. This is Kiki, and they would not listen to that person at all. It was just something
They're
about
boring, Mom. They're boring.
Yeah, it was just something about their voice or the way they deliver it. Just a little slight thing that I personally didn't notice. But for them, they were just like, yeah, no, this isn't working. That person is just not for me. Even though the program or lesson had a great, you know, core to it, just the person that delivered it, they're like, yeah, no.
I was I just spent this much money, I got this invested. If it's not working for them, they say you should. Yeah.
And I think I've started to come around more listening to their feedback, which for some reason, I guess in education, we expect the
Oh,
student.
I can't hear you.
You went, your sound went out.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to project my voice. But I think sometimes we expect our students or our kids to just give them take whatever we give them, and I'm guilty of that. And it's like, this is how we're gonna do it. Here you go. And when they see that there's flexibility, or they have some say, or they can share their feelings about it, then the conversation changes, and it makes us have to listen more. And that's what I learned, is to listen to what they're saying instead of just following my own plan. It's like, okay, maybe what they're saying is valid. Maybe we need to change something. And the more I started doing that and trusting their opinions, you know, to an extent, I mean, we're still the parent and we have to make the choice and the decision, but being more open, it really helped me to get out of my own way instead of, it has to be like this. Like the other day, I had this whole online program I wanted my son to do because I thought it was a good, hearty program, and I wanted him to get his foundation for 4th grade. And he was like, Mom, I really don't want to do that. It's boring. I would rather do my easy peasy worksheet. And for some reason, I was going back and forth with him. And I'm like, why am I going back and forth? I'm thinking that to myself, causing myself frustration. Yeah. When the child could sit down, do the worksheet, and there would be no stress in my house at all. But for some reason, I feel like I have to have my way. Yeah. Why?
I know with that K-12,
Oh, my plan.
and so what I did was I got my son, and we went on it, and we went through it, the website, the samples, and I asked him, I said, do you like this? Do you think you might like to learn this play? Because I didn't want to invest money and time, and then he told me he didn't, not that he has the ultimate say, but if you're homeschooling, that's the beauty. You can customize it. Other than that, you put them in public school where they don't have a choice,
Right, exactly. That's right. Yep. Good point. Totally. So, yeah. I mean, I definitely don't feel like I have it all together, especially not after 4 years. I still have a lot to learn, but I do feel every year it seems like the stress goes down and the confidence goes up. And it's like, okay, we can do this. We got this. And every time, you go through a year, you see the kids are progressing, they're doing okay, then you can have the ability to go on to the next year. And you just take it one day at a time, one moment at a time. All right, let me check the chat. Oh, Lamanda had to go. Oh, thanks for joining us, Lamanda.
Well, I'm going to have to leave. Thank you, ladies. This was my first time really actually attending one of these forums online, and I look forward to any more in the future and getting everybody's feedback and just learning how everybody does their own homeschooling. So it's been very
Thank you, Nicole. So glad you participated. We'll be here every Friday.
And the most important thing is it's always nice to see people that look like you.
Yes.
Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
absolutely.
Amen.
Amen. That's right. That's right.
Weekend.
Bye.
Take care. Hey, Mary, did you have your virtual hand up?
I did. I'll remember to put it down this time, I promise. I was going to say, this seems sometimes, hey, Kiki, I saw you. Yes, because I've been missing you. It seems like this could be daunting. You feel like you're going to fail your kids. You're not going to teach them everything, but they don't learn everything in school anyway. I mean, just truthfully.
They don't.
They don't. They teach you the test. So there's stuff in school that they're not gonna get either. But your passion and your love for your children is gonna really fuel a lot of it. It's not easy some days. You don't like each other, but you can do this. You can do it. It's and I found that I've learned most of the stuff along with them. And trying to teach and prepare for them, I'm learning a whole lot. And so I'm learning some things that I remember, oh yeah, I remember we did that. Or I learned a whole lot of new stuff too. So it's a learning process for all of you. But I would just say, don't quit. You need a break, take a break, but don't quit.
Amen.
Okay, I'm putting my hand down now.
Thank you, Mary, for that inspiration. We're done. We're just fielding questions or thoughts anybody might have.
Well, I want to thank you all, because I came into this like, this is just impossible. For one thing, I'm an old parent. This daughter is number 7. I have 7 children. She's the last. And so she wasn't learning anything in school. They gave those Chromebooks out, and she went straight down the hill. Didn't learn anything, absolutely not. Well, she learned something, but it didn't have anything to do with what she was supposed to be learning. Right. So this has given us an opportunity to, for her to be educated. So, because the school wasn't doing, they weren't doing anything. They was just passing them along, and then COVID came, and then they told the kids, just turn the work in. They're not even going to grade it. They just wanted to see that they was doing the work. So a lot of children have just been passed along to the next grade without learning anything. So, but this has given us an opportunity to do it right. That's true. To do it right. Absolutely. So I thank you all. I really do. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Yeah. I'm so glad we got to meet you.
Me too. I'm glad too. It's really been nice. Listening to everybody's story, it's really been nice. Yeah.
And I was going to say too, I had this thought in my brain and it fell out. We were talking earlier about so many choices being out there for curriculum and such, and resources and all that. I don't know about Mary or Aisha or the other moderators, but I kind of like when I find something, I try to just ride it out for a little while, try to work with it, add to it, take away, but I try not to switch up too often. I just try to give it a chance. That's my method, because there are so many, there are so many different homeschool curriculum that it is overwhelming. But if you talk to someone and something connects with you and you're like, okay, yeah, I feel like I need more structure. I want to be more traditional. I want to have what I need for each day. I have the money, or you might find someone that has curriculum. They'll give it to you at a discount, or they'll just bless you with it. If you need a traditional style, just try it and just try to massage it for a little while. Don't get yourself all crazy, jumping around. Just try to go with it. And then after a while, if it doesn't work out, then maybe, shift and try other things.
Okay.
But it can be there's a lot out there. There's a lot out there.
Okay. Well, we're going to do the best we can, because that's all we can do.
That's right. And at the end of the day, you can be like Mary and I and not use any curriculum really at all.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
The kids do learn, trust me.
They do. They do.
Well, we do use curriculum, but it's just, it's freestyle. All right, let me see. We have another session next Friday at 11 and 1 again. Those topics we're still working on, but our goal is to have a session every Friday in August so that we can try to give you everything we can think of before September comes.
Okay.
And give you a chance to meet each other, meet us, and we all brainstorm, talk things out. And then in September, we'll just be ready to jump in there. And when September comes, we'll still have meetups, but they'll be more just like casual hangout how y'all doing type of thing.
Sounds good. Really sounds good. Okay. With that being said, I'm gonna go. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you all.
I'm going to head out.
I'll leave you with a quote from Yolanda Chandler. She's one of our admins, and she said, "The days are long, but the years are short." So love on your kids, and you got this.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for coming. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.